Greetings, greetings, and welcome. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live at the one and only Raw, Rare, Real, Tried and True. Bloom from within love. I go by Bloomy. If you're logging in live this glorious Thursday, August the 25th, 2022. Otherwise, just welcome. If you're coming in here in love and light, high vibes, positivity, yada, yada, yada. I told you guys earlier that I'll be popping in periodically here and there with channeled messages, okay? Divine Feminine, channeling on behalf of true Divine Feminines, okay? For whoever it resonates with, whoever gives permission and allowance into the energy, okay, that's resonating with what's coming through. And so earlier, Divine Feminine's channeled messages were to address her personal karmic family that has been playing a role with a lot of toxic shit in her life from birth. Okay. The ancestry, the lineages, her parents and siblings, and all those who participated in the fuckery, but mainly it was addressed to her family first. Okay. Because Divine Feminines are aware that she had these energies first and foremost in her blood, and then clergy and so forth and so on. It was her blood, and then it was religious clergy, then it was other distorted spiritualists, then it was people she grew up with. She understands the jealousy and the envy that has surrounded her life. Okay, but it started with her own bloodline being narcissists and dark witches and warlocks, and that being something that had been prevalent generation after generation, but it was the best kept secret because the bloodline hid behind organized religion. Okay, and they kept their secrets about the things that they were actually participating in by wearing the cloak of religion. Okay, but she addressed them, and now Divine Feminine is coming in to address Divine Masculine's karmics, because Divine Masculine's karmics also have played a role in attacking Divine Feminine. Okay, so a couple of messages came through. To start off, the first thing that Divine Feminine is saying, she's just calling it just like she called it for her family. Okay, so she's just calling it out for what it is. For the family, the overall message was, okay, they needed help. They just needed help because they were fucked up. Like, it was beyond words, okay? Now, for these other karmics of Divine Masculines, this would include Divine Masculines, people that they married, people that they had children with, people that they dated, okay? It could even include some of his family. It can include their sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, friends, anybody that was karmic and codependent in Divine Masculine's world and energy. And so Divine Feminine is saying to these individuals, you're a sad, low self-esteem having ... You're a sad, low self-esteem having ... And the reason why Divine Feminine is addressing that, because she is aware of pain and suffering and trauma. She's aware of being heartbroken. She's aware of loving somebody or hoping that something would last. She's aware of attachments that people, form. She herself have gone through so many things, but because of what Divine Feminine is aware that these karmics of Divine Masculines partook in, she's just calling them out. She's like, you're a low down, you're a sad, low self-esteem having ... Because here's the message. Divine Feminine says to karmics, you reduced yourself so low in order to hold on to Divine Masculine. This was not even necessary, dear. You reduced yourself so low as to attack me, to come against me, my life, my children, and what I do because of your low self-esteem and addiction, an obsession to divine masculine because you don't love him. You never did, and you never will. Obsession, addiction is different than love. You reduced yourself to some pretty low down, fucked up shit. You even tried to be me. This is why I say to the Karmics, you are a sad, low self-esteem having ... You tried to hide behind, for some of you, your accomplishments. You tried to hide behind that you have been working at a hospital or a doctor's office for this amount of time, that you've been in this field and that field for this amount of time, that you have accomplished and gained things, that you have managed to look a certain way. You used all these things to cloak that you wasn't hating, or that you wasn't trying to come against divine feminine anyway. So divine feminine says, yeah, you are a sad, low self-esteem having. Divine feminine says, I handed masculine over to most of you, willingly and freely, without resistance. I handed divine masculine and walked away. And that wasn't enough. I was the least of your concerns. You're a low, sad, low self-esteem having ... I was never competing, divine feminine says. I was never competing with any of you Karmics. Do you understand? Because it's not, you can't compete. It's not a competition. I was never competing. Divine feminine says she has handed masculines over to their karmic families as well as their karmic lovers, time after time, willingly and freely, yet they're still sad, low self-esteem having ... Wanting to be divine feminine, coming against divine feminine. This is going to cost you, Karmics. This is where you went wrong in the game, dear. You all's incessant interference with divine masculine is what's going to cost you. Your sneaky, behind the scene behavior to interfere in these connections is what's going to cost every last one of you. Divine masculine has a free will. Divine feminine is aware of that. She handed them over and went on with her life. But because of y'all's sad, low self-esteem having ass, you still came against her and her kids. She's going to make you pay for that before you die. Because this lesson was about journeying for her and for Karmics alike. Divine feminine learned hers. And it was evident when she did that and went on with life. But you all, and just sad, not wanting to heal, not wanting to deal. All you guys know how to do is lie, steal, and cheat, and hope, and spell cast. Okay? And then hide behind some church somewhere, pretending like you're something. Divine feminine sees through you. You all thought by pushing babies out of your hoo-ha, or because there was a history of having children, that was supposed to mean something. It don't mean nothing. The bottom line is, divine feminine was never what you needed to worry about. What you needed to worry about was you. Because your incessant interference is what you're paying for and what you will continue to pay for. Your need to be right, your need to win at all costs, your concern about how it should look, your insistence of entitlement, thinking that you own divine masculine like he's an object. This is what's gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you. In any dreams that you ever had or wanted for this life. See, Ideally, in this journey, karmics, we learn from our pain, okay? We go somewhere and we heal. We take our disappointments, we take our L's, everybody on earth, and you go somewhere ideally and you heal and you recover your life and you discover that you can create a life on your terms without needing to violate another. But this is something you all don't have the capacity to understand. You've been repeating this time after time. You too are subconsciously programmed to come against the twins, to interfere. You're programmed to use all of the earthly things to try to stop divine beings from their healing and ascension. You are programmed with your obsession, confusing you, thinking that this is love. It's not love when you're commencing to do fucked up shit to other lives just because you feel like you ought to win. That's going to cost you dear. Divine Feminine is aware of the fuckery of Divine Masculine. She is not in disillusionment concerning him, unbeknownst to most of you. She's fully aware of who he is. She's fully aware of what he's done. She knows, she sees, but she also sees you. She sees the secrets, she knows. And for this, these people will pay. Divine masculines, karmics will pay just as much as divine feminines, masculines will pay. They will pay, you will pay. This is the lot. This is the lot. Nobody's getting away. No church is going to be able to stop this. No spellcaster, no dark witch, no warlock, no psychic, no medium, no one. The gavel has been dropped. And this is because many of you were warned time after time, and you stood before divine masculine, divine feminines, you stood before family members, you stood before the world, you stood before congregations acting like you were Sally Sue Sugar Sweet. You're going to pay for that. Covering and hiding your secret life of interfering, trying to harm divine feminine, because you all know that divine masculine loves divine feminine. No matter what show you have managed to convince him to put on for you, no matter what spell you put on him to proclaim you as the one, you know that you're not, and he knows that you're not. No matter what fuckery you all convinced him to be a part of and stay a part of, for show, for clout, for money, for fucking, whatever it was, whatever your vices were that you used to keep divine masculines asleep and unhealed. And this is why you all have had incessant focus on attacking divine feminine, her work, her life, her physicality, and that of her children, while you stand in front of divine masculine acting like you don't know what's going on, acting like you're not a part of that, singing songs, praying, falling out. All of your show, you guys ought to win Academy Awards for Best Actor and Actress, portraying divine feminine, because you are not divine feminine. And I don't care if you have managed, divine feminine says, to copy everything that she has done. I don't care if you have managed to spellcast motherfuckers to follow you and buy your product. I don't care if you've mimicked everything about me. You will never be me. You will never be a true divine feminine. That's not your journey. But worse yet, the reason why you won't be that is because you have refused your ancestors. You have refused your ascension process. You have refused divine higher frequency energy. So you can copy it all you want, but you will never be divine feminine. Divine feminines, as she stated on the first video, We do not cyberstalk people. We are not followers. We don't participate in gang stalking. We don't participate in jumping on bandwagons with people because somebody don't like them. We do not participate in getting people jumped and hurt. We do not blackmail people because they don't want to be with us. We don't participate in spells on other motherfuckers, but then hide it and go to church and sing the Hallelujah chorus. We don't talk about others behind their backs, but then smile in their face like we're not saying shit. We don't go run into church and try to get church motherfuckers involved to team up on motherfuckers. You're not a divine feminine. You'll never be. And I don't care if you go and buy a crown and put it on your head. Your crown should say crazy on it. The C for crazy. The C in crown stands for crazy. Divine Feminine had to work through her own self-esteem issues. See, ideally, that is what you were supposed to be doing, Karmics. Divine Feminine went through her stages and phases of healing to heal her self-esteem. She healed. This is why she's that bitch. This is why she's a bad motherfucker. It ain't because she managed to go purchase the just right ass and tits. It's not because she managed to go somewhere and buy the just right lace wig. It's not because she can copy and paste somebody else's life on a social media platform. She's divine feminine because she did the work and the journey. She was divine feminine on low. She's divine feminine on high. She's divine feminine going through the school of hard knocks. She's divine feminine in meager means because she is. This is a soul issue, a healing issue. She faced her pain. She didn't run from it, and she didn't go about destroying and wrecking other lives in the process. She didn't project. And ideally, that's what you all were supposed to be doing. Some of you did not know how to let go. You were used to being the side hoe for divine masculine, or having a space in his life, hoping that one day it would be wonderful forever and ever. You're sad. And what's making you even more so sad is because if you would have healed, you would have realized that your life don't start, end, or begin with now one motherfucker, including a man. You're sad, low self-esteem having ... because you thought that this would end well. After continuing to hide and interfere and do harm to other people, stab people in the back, do fraud, use people's social security numbers, try to set people up, creating fucking platforms with divine feminine's information to make her look bad. Yeah, she know what you did. She know you all were using her pictures, using her content, creating shit everywhere. She know that you all were creating shit on dating sites. She's aware. Divine Feminine knows how sad and low y'all are, how sad and low you went to try to make Divine Feminine look a certain way. And this you're going to pay for as well. You're sad. You're sad. And you don't own divine masculine. This incessant desire to try to control somebody's life and movement is what makes you sad. You'll never have his heart. It'll never happen. You're going to only have fragmented pieces of him because it was never meant to be anything beyond a lesson. You all want divine masculine asleep and low vibrational like you. And this is why you all cater to every last one of his addictions to make sure he stayed there. And for some of you mother figures and father figures, you're not off the hook. You cater to the wounds of a divine masculine for looking for belonging, to fit in, to put your stank ass nose in places that it didn't belong. You're going to pay for that too. Because you're weak and sad. Selling out divine masculine for the highest bidding hole. Selling out divine masculine for the holes that you think you control. For the ones that's going to keep divine masculine in the state of being that you want them in. You're going to pay too. And the friends of masculines, yeah, they're paying too. Every last one of them. The karmic friends of divine masculines, absolutely. You guys are some sad, low self-esteem having motherfuckers too. And I'm talking about men and women alike. The last thing divine feminine has to say to these karmics of divine masculine is this. It's not going to go well for you. This is not going to end well. The more you interfere and stall out this healing process and journey, the more you're going to suffer and pay. And some of you that partook in these spells, you're going to receive that. There's no running and there's no hiding. So I don't care who you've got managed to get fooled and believe that you didn't do it, you're still going to pay for it. You actually thought, karmics of divine masculines, you thought that if you can kill divine feminine off, make her look bad, make her fat, make her unattractive, all sorts of things you all did, make her distracted, blah, 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 blah. You thought that then maybe finally divine masculine will only focus on you, think of you, want you, love you. It's never going to happen, dear. You're just as sad as divine feminine's family man. You need help. You need help. When you all have divine masculine, all you guys have is the fragmented versions of him. And you know it. Most of you bully him into the shit, bitch. Most of y'all blackmailed and bullied some of these masculines. You're sad. Threaten them, you're going to get child support. Threaten them, you're going to do this. Threaten them, you're sad. You're a sad, low self-esteem habit. Go say this and say that. So to try to make divine feminine look bad, you can't. Divine feminine is unbothered. She's that motherfucker. She's going to always have the last laugh. And the reason is because she is on a healing journey, an ascension journey. She is not attached. Whether or not masculine came to her world or not, whatever path he chooses out of his free will, she knows that she is unstoppable. And that anything that motherfuckers do to try to make a mockery of her, to make a fool of her, to embarrass her, to discredit her, she knows that before it's over with, her team is going to whoop they sorry ass across the sky and on earth. Because it's about alignment. And the more you try to fuck with divine feminine, the more she is going to order your destruction and expose your secrets. Some of you, like divine feminine's family, don't have much time left on earth. Because you didn't want to heal. Instead, you wanted to invest in death on people that you felt threatened by. But then want to go sing the hallelujah. And by the way, people in religious circles, word cursing and speaking death over my life, they're going down too. Because it's a bunch of foolery. You have nothing if where your heart should be is nothing but a black hole with some damn tumbleweeds flowing through. You have nothing. True divine beings do not operate in malice and hate towards other beings out of the sheer reason of they don't like them, or they feel threatened by them, or they don't believe what they believe. You're not divine feminine. You'll never be. You're not decent person. Not because you didn't have the capability to be, because you all have chosen not to be. People who are investing in criminal activity towards innocent lives, attempting to hurt people's children, ain't nothing decent about you. And I'm not going to say differently. And you can go to church every time the church doors is open. I'm not going to say nothing differently. You can cry to the pastor, the prayer lady, and fall out at the altar and call every prayer line that is known on earth. I'm not going to say nothing differently. Because it's your conduct. It's what you are and what you do when all these people ain't watching you. It's your vibrations, it's your thoughts, it's what you're investing in towards innocent lives, namely divine feminine, her children, and her life. You all are some sad, low self-esteem having motherfuckers. And to the men, those that are actually a man acting like some bitch ass niggas, you really ought to be ashamed. Y'all need help. And Divine Feminine says, look, y'all some low self-esteem having, but y'all need help. But most of you, this shit is about to get real. Because the Divine Feminine, these Divine Feminines, want to be fucked with. You all thought these Divine Feminines were weaklings and nobodies, and that's what you fucking get. You underestimated Divine Feminine. And you underestimated her light team. But prior to do that to you, and temporary shallow victories that you all were allowed to have, see, if you all would have went somewhere in life, minded your business, and processed your life and healed like a normal, relatively healthy individual would, your fates wouldn't be that bad. But this incessant interference and game playing and trickery and prankster energy, this incessant attempt to create confusion and chaos on a twin flame journey, this is an incessant attempt to try to steal and hurt, is what's going to cost you and what's near and dear to you. I feel sorry for you all's children. I feel sorry for your all's children, every last one of you karmic motherfuckers. Because they don't pay. If you targeted and attacked Divine Feminine and her children, your children's going to pay. And this is what's sad. I feel bad for them. Divine Feminine feels bad because the children pay for the ignorance and the heartlessness of their parents. You all were granted ample opportunity to go somewhere with yourselves, and you can't do it. You still can't do it. Divine Feminine says this shit is inevitable. It's a matter of time. This shit is inevitable. The more fuckery, the more hell is being unleashed. The more fuckery, the more hell is going to be unleashed. Simple as that. Sad, 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 sad. Sad, 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 low self-esteem, having ass.